Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to take a look at putting our comments section on the submissions, right? And we're also going to add users to our comments. So there's quite a bit of work to do. So let's go ahead and get started. So first thing that we are going to do is we are going to consolidate our comments, right? So you know how we have moderation comments, what's it called? Submission comments, and then there is going to be reply comments. So, or comments essentially, because they're replies, right? We just want to get them all in one roof so they're not scattered all over the place, because that's what it is at the moment. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this is currently happening. So let me go ahead and take a look at the submissions, and I don't think I have the comments on here. I do have them in the moderation, right? So this is what happens currently in the moderation items, and we perform a little check, and then we set the ID, right? So, and then this kind of the same thing happens in the comments here. So let's go ahead, extract this logic and extend it to work for comments as well, right? So for now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a class where I'm gonna create a comment creation context, right? So the comment creation context, let's just get all the stuff that we need in here, app TV context. For all the stuff that we need in here, I think this is all the stuff that we'll need in here. We'll do a quick setup function. Comment creation context, we will set up a user ID, so it's just something that we will need. So private, I think string, and user ID. Let's make this a little bit more private level. Make this a property, or does it need to be a property? I think this can be a field, no problem. Just make sure this thing right here. Let's see if it will. User ID. And return this, right? So we can chain these. So we do a little setup in terms of what user we're working with, and then we're actually gonna do the actual comment creation, right? So public comments create async, right? And the thing that we will accept here as a parameter, we will accept a comment form. So let's go ahead, and the thing that we were passing a real comment, so we actually don't want to be doing that anymore. Let's go ahead, create a class. We'll just call it comment form for now. I'll do a prop. I think we will need an ID. So the ID specifically is going to be parent ID. There will also need to be a parent type, and let's actually define this here as well. So this will be a public. And in terms of the parent type, this is really just to explain, is it a submission, is it a moderation, is it a comment, right? What are we creating a comment for? So moderation item, let's make sure that we set the value here. The second one will be submission, and the third one will be comment. Just make sure we update these. And this is going to be that comment creation context. Let's put this here, and parent type. Right. Actually put this here. Cool. And then the actual thing that we're using is the content, right, to generate this HTML content and stuff like that. So string content. Okay. That's the thing that we'll need. This is the thing that we're going to be passing into here. So comments form. Oh, comment form. Put the wrong thing in there, but no problem. All right. Okay. So from the comment controller, we'll just slowly start to extract this stuff. The regex. Let's control exit. So we are. I'm cutting it essentially. I will make a private. Read only, yeah, well, it can be static regex, and this is a tag match, I believe. If we need a better name for it, we will grab a better name for it, but for now this will do it. And let's say compiled, that this will be compiled, so it will be just slightly faster because it is static, so it will only be assigned once, and that's it, and it's just going to be reused from there at that point out. Now we want to use that regex to generate this HTML content. So let's go ahead, grab this, and we're going to do it here, right? So the content is going to come from comment form, the tag match. This is where this is going. Aggregate, we need the reference for that. The content right here, I mean, we'll put it right here. Let's get an actual comment that we can put all this stuff on, right? So let's get ourselves a comment, and comments, this is where it's going, right? So I did name this async. This is because in the end, what I want to happen is I want the comments to add. I don't think we even need comments. We can just add the comment in the end here, and ctx save changes async, and we will await this. Writer will just do that work for me, and in the end I will just return comment. Okay. There are a couple of things that I want to do on here as well. So first of all, if we go on the comments, you can see that we're already pointing to either a potential moderation item or a parent ID, but we don't know what user this comment is coming from. So this is what we want to do, right? First of all, we want to say that this comment can come from a user, right? So string user ID. And the next thing is the submissions. We want to actually make it point to submissions as well. So submission, and let's just copy the name here, submission, right? So remember, the keys have to be nullable for the database to essentially be able to put a null slot in the column to basically say what is this comment for, right? What are we commenting under? Okay, and that's primarily the parent ID. Okay, so that's we can actually remove this, I believe, and this as well, and the ID that this is no longer here. So when we post a comment, we just create a comment, and this may seem like a big change. Again, I just want to say that I'm trying to get this finished, so to come to the solution, it took I don't know, maybe 2 hours or so. So I'm trying to condense it. Okay. So from services, we want to grab our comment creation context. Let's go ahead and grab it. We are going to create a sync, and remember that first we will need to set up. So do we have a user ID in here? If we do not, that means we need to set the API controller, right? So let's get our API controller, jump to the previous error, and let's get our user ID in here, right? So we've set it up. Next thing is the comment form. So we want the comment form, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to create from here. In the end, we will end up with a comment. We'll need to await on this thing. The name here, we don't really need to do this right here. We will do something else, and I'll show you just in a second. But right here, just pass the comment. And one thing on the projection that we have here, as I said, I want to display the user. So what we're going to do is we're gonna, use a user projection. Okay. So user view models, create flat, again, comment user. Okay. And one thing that we need to make sure is that the comment user isn't going to be null, right? So this is primarily going to be returned from the comment creation context. So inside the comment creation context, what I'm going to do on my comment is I'm going to set a user. Okay. So context users, first or default, and I think I can just do as no tracking here, and just set the ID equals to, well, we had the private user ID for the user that this is happening. Okay. The thing that we want to do is we want to put a little bit of separation out. So if this is happening for comment form, what's it called? Parent type. So parent type, let's start in order, and we will move these as well. So else if, and another one right here. Cool. Format this a little bit. Submission and the comment, right? So if we are going through these, what we want to do is we want to perform the checks. If in the context for this, we want to check the moderation items. Do we have, I think the main thing we want to say is if we don't have something like this, just throw an exception, right? So if we don't have a moderation item with an ID of comment form, the parent ID, right? If we don't have this, throw, and we're going to create a new exception for this, right? So let's create a public class parent not found exception. Okay, and derive from exception, make this a new class. Let's generate a constructor with a message, get rid of the nullable type because I don't really like it, and that's what it's gonna look like, right? So throw new parent not found exception, and we'll say something like moderation item and not found, and we'll do the same for the other ones, right? So copy this, put this here, put this here. And this one is going to be submission not found. This one's going to be comment not found, okay? And if these are successful, they're not going to throw. So then on these, we want to set the relevant type or the relevant property. So comment form dot parent ID. So hopefully you can see where I'm going with this, right? Copy this a couple of times, drag it with us, grab the last one, drag it with us down here, submission ID, and the last one is parent ID. Okay, so if the parent type is set to moderation type, we check the moderation type and we set the moderation ID. And pretty much if we have anything else that we can comment on, we have to add a clause to this if statement chain essentially, okay? Other than that, we, generate our content, and after we've done all of this as well, we can go on the comment. We can set the user ID to be user ID, the comment content, make sure that we grab it from the content in case we want to regenerate it. And let's just double check that we have everything. So content, HTML content, we set that, the ID that we are setting that as well, and the user ID that we're setting. Again, we're assigning user at the end, so when we return the comment, we can actually we can actually create the view model, right? So let's just double check on the view model here that we are giving everything that we have. The user on the comment is going to have the username and the image, right? So we will be able to display that little avatar on the comment itself. Okay, so looks good. Let's go ahead and close this. I think this is okay. On the moderation item content, the comments that we have here, let's go ahead and remove it. We will still keep the get comments on here, so we are still going to be grabbing the comments from here, and we might migrate that over later on as well to maybe be just from the comments, right? But for now, let's go ahead, grab this endpoint. We're gonna go on the submissions controller, and let me double check that there is nothing like this here, and it's not, right? So let's find a comfortable spot at the bottom, and here with the get comments, what we're going to do is import this, and instead we will look for the submission ID here to equal, okay? So for whichever submission, we're getting the comments. We're getting the comments. The one thing to not forget is to actually set up the relationship for the submissions. So if we go to submissions, we haven't actually put the comments on here. So just make sure that we have our comments on here. So Entity Framework knows what to do with the other comments. So it actually, maps the relationship, okay? So that's that. I think we can go ahead and start working a little bit more on the UI. And again, as always, if we meet any errors, we will fix it, okay? Close everything, collapse everything. Let's go on to the web client, and let's actually come back. Let's come here first. And here's what our card looks like. At the moment, we don't have like anything that sort of resembles, anything having comments. So let's first adjust the submission itself. So let's go ahead and open the submission. Let's take this description, and what I wanted to do is I actually wanted to put it up here. Okay, because at the bottom it's a little bit like I really didn't like it there. Okay. Another thing, let's go ahead, append, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to append the submission created on top here. If we need to be able to change the styles, which I think what is going to happen here, because look at how it stands out, we might want to provide a slot in there, right, to make it look a little bit like Nevertheless, this is more of a layout that I'm going to go for, and margin Y3, I just want a little bit of space at the top here, and yeah. Oh. And yeah, this is what I want it to look like, right? So for all of these, let's go ahead and make it so we can actually do something with the comment section here, right? So the next work that's going to happen is with the comments. So let's go ahead, open up all of these files. Will it let me? Nope. One at a time. It is then. Okay. Also, let's get the comment creation context in here real quick. And what we're going to do is we're just going to copy the parent type here. And let's create a JavaScript file, and we'll just call it _shared for now. All right, let's paste this in here, and we will export const parent type, and we'll call this let's say comments parent type, and let's fix these up to be JavaScript syntax, right? Actually, whoa, yeah, to come back here. There we go. Right, so let's not forget the assignment. One thing, I think I just need one of these, and what was it, Control-Shift-U? Yep. For the toggle case. And there we go, right? So all uppercase, a kind of enum type of thing that I wanted to use, and this is how we're going to control where the thing is gonna go. So now I want to create some mixins. Primarily, these mixins are gonna help us identify or sort of organize these components a little bit in their roles. Okay, so there's gonna be something that could configure a comment collection, a container, so something that holds comments, and a creator, so something that can create a comment, right? Let's go ahead and export const creator. So this will be a, oh no, I don't think I need to do it like that. Let's just do it like this. This is just going to have some props, and specifically this is going to have a parent ID. So the parent ID is of type number, and it's going to be required. Okay, and yeah, true. Let's give this a copy, and this is going to be parent type, and this is also going to be required, right? So, or actually, this is not a creator. Sorry, this is a configure. Okay, so this is something that could be configured. So let's say configurable, right? So configurable, the parent, whatever is creating this component, basically says what the parent is, right? So if we are creating a comment section for a moderation item, that specific moderation item is going to set the parent ID and the parent type, right? So the parent component is responsible for saying what kind of comment section we want, right? So it's going to set these, and it's going to propagate these, right? Because comments are also will need to configure the input field to create replies for the comments, right? So the comment section is, it's easy enough, but not too easy, right? You need to think a little bit. So we got that. Let's get another one in here, and this is going to be a creator. So specifically what I want the creator of the comments to do is this is something that's going to output a comment, right? So I want it to be able to emit a comment. So this is a way to reuse events and stuff like that between all these comments, because you will see that inside of there we have multiple events. So it's kind of like grabbing from the input field and passing it all the way to the parent and stuff like that. So I want to just make it a little bit more reusable, and so we don't have to change things in multiple places. Let's say emit comment. We're going to have some kind of comment form here, and we're going to say this emit, and we'll say comment created, right? And let's emit a comment. So this is only going to emit once the comment is created on the backend. So what we're going to get back here is a view model, okay? Next thing is we are going to have a cancel. All right. This is just a simple cancel event just to propagate it. Okay, so let's just say cancel here, event, and we're not emitting anything here. I think I'm not forgetting anything, but hopefully. We'll see if I'm missing anything, right? And another thing that we want is a container, right? So something that is going to be holding comments. Comment section holds comments for the moderation items or submissions. A comment is going to hold comments for replies. Okay, so multiple things can be containers. So container, just like that. And again, because we're choosing this, what's it called? This Facebook, YouTube comment style section. With this configuration, you can give creator to a sub comment or to a reply, and then you can have this infinite tree chain of comments with this, right? And again, just because of how this is built, it's going to support it, okay? But you will need to move stuff around. So anyway, what do we got? What do we got in here? We'll need some data. Yeah, we'll need some data because we're going to have some comments, and this is going to be an array, right? What do we want to be able to do with the comments section? We want to be able to append a comment. So a comment is going to come in here, and on this comments we will have to push. So when we append on the end. Prepend is at the beginning, okay? So let's just go ahead and push this comment. Let's go ahead, copy this. We're gonna have prepend here, prepend comment. And what we're gonna use here is called unshift, okay? So unshift is at the beginning, prepend is at the end, okay? And that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and see how we can use this, okay? So comment input, this is something that should be emitting comments, okay? On here, what we're going to do is we are going to grab some mixins. Specifically, we're going to say that this is a creator and a configurable. So by saying that this is a configurable, something can configure this to basically say, what are you going to generate the comment for? Okay, so because it's an input field, it's going to be created in comments, and it's going to be needed to be configurable, so it knows what to create the comment for. Okay, the rest of the stuff pretty much stays the same. We actually just want to make sure that we're passing some stuff around, and another thing is this is actually going to need a method to actually create a comment. So let's go ahead and take a look at the comment form. Okay, so here's the comment form. We'll need a parent ID, parent type. We're passing that from the props and content we already have, right? So let's go ahead and create a send function. We will create a const data. This will be a new object, and let's get the parent ID. This will be this parent ID, right? Copy this. We will need to grab parent type. Just copy this a little bit, and then content, and we'll say this content. Okay. So here's the data. Then we're gonna go ahead, grab this Axios post. Where are we gonna post? Well, I mean, API/comments, right? So we made it easy. This is what we're doing. Enough said, right? Once this is created, what do we want to do? We want to emit, or this emits comment, right? And then once we have emitted a comment, we want to this close. I think that's the function that it's going to grab. So creator, cancel. Okay, cancel. So cancellation is just to prompt the what's called the closure of the comment. So how we are going to have this hierarchy of comments. When you send the comment, it should close. Okay, let's just go ahead and return this so it's not dangling. Now, we will need to fix a little bit here. So when we enter here, let's go ahead and send right here. We will send right here. And we will cancel right here. Okay, so these are things that we've already provided, okay? Next thing is the body, right? So we can close comment input, we can start working with the comment body. This is the thing that is also going to have this input. And let's just get some of this stuff here. So this binds to the cancel event. It also has the send, and remember that the send is actually changed to comment created, right? So comment created. So when this event triggers, this is when we actually want to do something further with it. So again, we're going to grab some mixins, and this is going to be a creator because it is going to need to emit these events, right? Further up the chain. Comments, emit comment, I think, is that what we've called it? Emit comment, yes. And let me just come back to the input, make sure that I've, yeah, so emit comment, okay. So when we emit the comments, on the comment input, we also want to say that this is not confirm, configurable. And all we're going to do is we're going to say that the parent ID is the same as the parent ID here. Copy this, and I mean, I probably didn't need to copy this, but whatever. Parents type, right? So we are just passing stuff down the chain. We will come back to this one, so let's not close it just yet. As for the rest of the stuff that's in here is completely fine, okay? Next thing that we're gonna go through is the comment. So coming into the comments, the comment is going to need to configure two comment bodies. Okay, so this is how this is going to work. Let's take a look at the mixins, and this is going to be a container first. So the reason it's a container is for the data right here, the replies, these are no longer going to be replies, and let's just smooth this out a little bit right here, and we're going to be using comments, okay? And let's just go ahead and say something like C here, C, and C. And the comment bodies, all of them will need to also accept a parent ID, which in this case is going to be, so the comment ID, okay? And then the parent type, well, the parent type, we can go ahead and grab a computed property. So comment parent type, return comment parent type, and comment, right? Let's just verify that it's 2. It is 2, okay? And that's the thing that we're going to return, and that's the thing that we pass here. Same things are going to be on here. Just remember, when we are replying to a comment or we're replying to a reply of a comment, it's still the same reply to a comment. So we want to keep it in, we only have 2 levels, main comment and replies, right? And replies to replies are still replies. So it's not like you can have a Twitter chain, which is more like infinite ladder. It's more YouTube style when it's like just, 2 levels, top and reply. So, what else do we want on here? The sends, when these get created, we want to be able to do different things with them, okay? Specifically on the container, we're going to have an append and prepend comment because you're going to be replying. I think we're just going to use append comment here, and prepend comment is going to be used when we leave a comment, right? So it just shows up at the top because big tree and you're right at the top writing comment, you just want to put it at the top here. Here we're just going to put it at the bottom of the reply chain because I'm expecting it to not be that big, okay? Yeah, we just append the comments to the comments, load replies. This is still needed here, so I think we will just leave it. In terms of the send, we no longer need the send, and remember this is again comment creation. So we can go ahead and get rid of this one, but we will need to change this to comment created, okay? And again, if we are ever confused, we can come back here, we can take a look at the event that we're emitting, and we can actually put this as their own constants, right? So if you're getting confused, feel free to add that type support, okay? Other than that, or object reference support more. Right, so we got that, and notice that this is not configure rule, right? So once you get a comment, you're in that space of the comment, the replies, and the replies are now within the comment. Now coming back to the comment section, this is where the comment section is going to be something that's going to be configurable by the parent. So it's either a submission or a moderation item, and we'll need to hold the replies as well. Okay, so comments, this is going to change. So this is going to be configurable, and this is going to be a container as well. So as for the props, this should no longer be here. Okay, the comments are going to get loaded differently. The emit here, we are going to prepend the comment as I just stated, and we will need to pass some of this stuff on here. As for the parent ID, I think we can grab this from the comment body, kind of how we just passed it on here. So coming back to the comment section, just pass it on, right? And remember the event has changed, so just go ahead, grab the name, comment section, replace it. Now the important thing is getting the comments, right? Because the get of comments is still residing in a different place, as in different controllers. Let's go ahead and get something that will allow us to point to those different controllers, right? So when this gets created, that's primarily when we can go and just say this. Axios, let's go ahead and just get these comments from some kind of endpoint, okay? And once we got these, let's go ahead and take these comments, and on these comments, or let's say comments for each X, we want to this comments push and X. Okay, and endpoint, let's go ahead and create a computed property where we will have this endpoint, right? And this endpoint will primarily need to depend on the parent type, right? So we're going to essentially be performing the same check here. So if this dot parent type equals comment parent type, and we will say something like a moderation item, we're going to return /API / moderation items / what is it? We got some ID, so this parent ID, right? And comments. Cool. Same thing here, just like that, except this is going to be submissions. Okay, and this is going to be a submission, right? So this is what it's going to look like, and hopefully this is just going to, load the comments, right? Let's go into the comment, and we're just going to grab this computer property because we're going to need it in some other places. So anyway, we got this bit. Let's go ahead into the submission here, and right about here is where I want to let's card actions. Let's get this here, and we will get a V spacer in here as well. We will get the span. We will get a V button to kind of simulate the thumbs up and thumbs. I think we will be implementing a thumbs down as well. So the icon, we will do MDI thumbs up for now, I think it is. What did I copy? I copied this computer property. Let's just put it on here real quick, because the thing that we're going to need is we're going to need to specify that this is a submission, okay? And the other thing, so let's just get this here. And what are we going to have? We're going to have comment, I think. Let's take a look. Yeah, what is this? So card text, we don't need this bit. MDI, thumb up. Maybe thumb up, I think it was. Yeah, thumb up. Okay, so it looks a little bit wonky here for now. That's okay. The main thing is this, this, what's it called? This comment button right here. Let's make it work, right? So on here, we will need a data property, right? So let's get this function here and generally show comments, right? And let's say false. What we're gonna need is a comment section, right? Let's get the comment section in here. What are the props? Our only parent ID. So parent ID, this is going to be submission.id, and parent type, I forgot to bind it, is going to be not comment parent type, but rather a submission parent type. Let's put it here. Okay. So show comments, we should see a 404. Let's see, where is the, okay, so that looks like a different error. Let's just refresh this and see what we get. Right, so you can see the comment section here. It looks a little bit messed up. Let's see if we can give it a little bit of padding. Padding all 2. Yeah, maybe just on the axis. Yeah, no, I think 2 was better. No. Okay, this is the hard part. Padding bottom 2. I think. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Come on. Let's give it a little bit of 3 on the other side. Okay. Let's give it a little bit of a hug with the padding on the side. All right. Anyway, this part. So you can see we're not signed in. We shouldn't be able to leave a comment here, right? What a coincidence that we have what's it called? If only we had some kind of a method that, I don't know, did something like display the content if we are allowed, right, to log in, and then if we weren't allowed to log in, we, did something like, I don't know, like, what do you say? Display a button that maybe said something like sign in to comment. And yeah, if we could just, would it be nice if we could just have a function to log in available as well, and when you click the button, it just logs in, and how about that? How about that? Huh? Look at that. Beautiful. Can we put a class on this? We can. What about this thing? Let's just make this class deflex justify center. Let's make it centered. Right, there it is. So sign into comments. I mean, the man said it. Let's go. There we are. So here we are. We're signed in. So first of all, we have show comments set to false. Let's go ahead and say if show comments, right? When we press on this button on the click, let's go ahead and just say show comments or equals not comments, right? So we're just going to be keep flipping the value. So by default, it's displayed to false. So we can open and close this comment section, right? And because it's a different component, it's different for everybody else. And you can see every time we open it, we get a little loading bar in the top here. It's trying to load those comments. So let's go ahead and test this, right? I'm a little bit worried. And as it usually goes, shit breaks, and I'm already getting a little spidey sense that it might do something with our, context, right? Tracking comment creation context has not been registered. Oh. Let's copy the name straight from here. Go into our startup, march in here. Big balls. We know what to do. Add this as transient though, because we don't want to share state across the scope if we need to use this more than once in a request. Good stuff. right? We got that. We got that. Let's we come back. We will need to refresh this and re-sign in because we got to sign in to comment. Again, test password. Let's come in here and so that is loading and that should not be loading with VF disabled. Let's where was this component submissions? We were looking at the submissions. So VF show comments. Let's go ahead and actually put this on this slot right here. I just want to close that and remove the space on here. So yeah, so that was a little bit confusing with the skeletal loader. So once we're here, let's go ahead and comment, do something like test comment, still error occurs. Let's take a look at what happens. So what does it say? Submission not found. So what did we actually send? Parent ID 2, parent type 1, and content test. So let's take a look at the comment creation context. Let's take a look at what we have written here. And you can see that for the moderation item, we check the moderation item. For all the other stuff, we haven't changed it. So we actually have to change submissions. And here we will have to change comments. So if you've probably seen this error before me. If you did, good job. If you fixed it, you probably already have it working and you are not having to sign in a third time like I just do. So, good on you. Give yourself a pat on the back. You're doing good. And, if you sticked it out this long through these tutorial series, damn, dude, you're a legend. Like, I remember sticking out from one of these for such a long time and, god damn it. What now? So, right. Another error. Let's see. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. And specifically, it's the lambda here. So we do not get the user, okay? So why would we not get the user? Again, let's take a look at the comment here. The only reason I can see for this to not work is if the user ID isn't actually being set at all. So if it's null, right? So that's probably some kind of validation that we can do. So let's say if a string is null or empty, let's say user ID, throw argument or a null exception, maybe null reference exception, or let's throw argument null exception, right? And name of user ID. I think that will just be a little bit more descriptive. Let me just put this here, new, okay. That's generally how you do this. So why would it be null at all? Let's just close everything because all these windows are getting me a little bit confused. Comment controller. When we get the reply, let's just go ahead and create, call this create, right? We create a comment. We do not, protect this in any way. So if we do not put the authorization attribute, we unfortunately do not get the user context to actually extract the user ID, okay? So getting replies, do we care about users reading comments that, without signing in? It could be potentially considered as malicious behavior. So we are going to say forbid that. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap the whole controller in here. And we're going to say what kind of policy one? Tricking, library constants. What kind of policies do we have? User, right? So if you're a user, you can read these. So, there you go, right? So that's that. Let's go ahead and come back here. Log in again, test, password. So many little things to take care of. Oh, right. Test, comment, and there we go, right? Well, I said we're going to display a user, so let's go ahead and actually display a user. Coming back here, let's go on the submission, where we have the comment section. On the comments, where we have the comment body. So the comment body is actually the thing that is meant to be, that displays the HTML content right here. And I think it should be able to display the user header as well, right? So let's get the user header in here. We can make it a self-closing tag, I believe. I think this can actually be a V sheet, so we can make this look a little bit prettier. But other than that, username, what kind of username do we want? Comments.user.username. Familiar spiel, right? What is this? This is image URL, and it gets from the image, right? Can't remember the colors. What kind of color do we want? Let's go. We, you know, with this material framework, I feel a little bit like an artist, where I just have, like, you know, the color palette at my disposal. I think go blue darken, right? It will fit our dark theme, right? So yeah, that doesn't look the best. And where are we? All right, so first of all, the size 28. I think that should knock it down a little bit. Next thing is I think this has a rounded on it, right? So let's smooth out the edges. It looks like an actual comment, right? And it looks pretty crap, I'll be honest. Let's keep digging in the color palette. Gray darken 4. Everything's gray in this. I'm not you know, I don't have a designer's eye, I'll be honest. My confession right here, you can barely see it. Okay. Let's darken 3 it. All right, I think that's gonna make it a little. Okay. I think that's better. What do we want to do? Let's go ahead and say something like class deflex. I think that's it. Just flex it, and there we go. So align center. I think that might make it look wonky if it's a large comment. So P. So you can see it's like floating a little bit. Let's change this to a div. So margin bottom, I don't think this will need a margin bottom anymore, unless maybe this thing will need it. Kind of, yeah, so there we go. So let's just leave a really big comment, right? And we'll see. So this is what it's gonna look like. And again, you can see it got prepended here. If we do actually give this a refresh and load the comments, it is something that gets loaded after. So it's up to you to decide where you want to put the comment, really. As for the replies, so hi dude, let's say reply, and you can see it closes after. That's because we're emitting the cancel event. But here's the comment section. Implementing the link to the profile, we are going to do that, and maybe we will do something around maybe getting rid of this button. Do we really need this button this big? And you know, I will take a look at how we can style this, right? But let's not forget about something. We've broke the comment section on the moderation item, right? So let's go into moderation. If we go in here, it's broken, right? It's broken. Let's go ahead and just where we were. Let's just grab the mod item first, mod ID page first. Right at the bottom, where we have all the computed stuff. Let's go to the submission and just grab this computer property that we have here. Actually, let's just grab about this much. And let's just put it here. So the submission parent type, let's just say moderation item parent type. So, and we'll say moderation item parent type, right? Going back to the top, wherever we had the comments section. So we no longer need to bind comments and the send comments. Well, we no longer need to do that either. Okay, so the moderation item is not responsible for sending comments. It's responsible for saying what kind of like comments it has, right? So against what do we have comments? So in terms of the parent ID and the type that we're putting on it, let's go ahead, copy this, paste this here. It should come from something we don't have, so we don't have moderation ID. So mod item will be null. Okay, let's put it here. I think these 3 at the bottom, we won't need them, so let's go ahead and see how we can fix this up. So this mod items comments, let's remove this because the comments are going to be what's called extracted from the from within. They're gonna get. We're gonna call again to grab the comments. Okay, comments no longer needed on here. Reviews. Let's go ahead, copy this, and we're gonna make this a computer property. Okay, and we are just going to return this mod item dot reviews. Okay, and those are going to be our reviews, so we no longer need to set it, and it's just a computer property. Okay, reply ID, let's just double check that we using this reply ID anywhere. We're not. Let's go ahead and remove it. So what's this? Okay, so we still have a error here, so now we actually have a mod item. We can actually use it. Parent type, moderation item parent type. Okay, so that should sort us out here. Just coming back to the created, just yeah, so this is the thing that I've neglected a little bit. So just, you know, just in the middle of refactoring a function, just forget about it, start checking other things. Yeah, don't do that. Try to focus on a single thing that you're fixing. Okay, so const mod mod item, let's deconstruct some of these things. So type current and target, right? Put this stuff here. Current, target. Cool. So that should take care of that. Let's give this a refresh. Cannot read property of null. Okay, so this is because moderation item is null. So what we will need to do is maybe, because the reviews is going to be null here as well, let's put it on the row here. So if mod item here at the top. Right, let's give this a refresh. Okay, and there it is. So the comment section, hi, comment, reply, yo dude, reply, right, reply again, hi, reply, okay, reply again, reply, refresh. Will the replies get loaded? Okay, load replies. Okay, so this load replies doesn't work. So let's quickly take a look at what's wrong there. So this will be on the comment itself, where we initiate the load replies, and we okay, so we don't have anything to assign it to. So yeah, the way that we do it here, not a big fan of just assigning the array. I mean, we don't do it. We don't do this specifically. But basically, we have yet to implement cursoring. So there is going to be a part 2 to this. But right now, load replies. Okay, so that should work, right? So there is going to be cursoring with the comments as well. But for now, I think this is okay in terms of the comment section. So loading replies, etc. This will be it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, as always, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment if you have any questions. Come join my Discord server, join the community, join my stream on Wednesdays and Sundays around 6 o'clock, and I'll see you in the next episode.